You'll state your name, the media house that you come from, and what your question is.
Thank you very much. My name is Mbalula. I have a couple of questions. Number one, are the NEC members who called for the president to resign as it was reported, are these NEC members known? And is it indeed true that the president, during the delivery of the political report, confronted these NEC members who are reportedly calling for his removal? Clarity there. Number two, in regard to the resolution on lifestyle audits, which you say from the executive side, the president must take the lead. I remember very well, it was in 2018 when the president, shortly after his election, for the first time, made this commitment and promise that there is going to be a lifestyle audit. And in 2023, in his parliamentary report, he considered that the government hasn't moved a needle. Now, as you are making this particular commitment once more, have you gone back to ask why this first commitment that was made back in 28 was never adhered to? What are the reasons therefore? And in regard to this new promise, what are the timelines? How are you going to ensure that it is implemented? This morning, your NEC member, Mr. Malusi Gigaba, was joined as accused number 5 in a matter before the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court, or the High Court sitting in the Palm Ridge, together with the 4 other former executives of Transnet. What is the way forward in terms of your processes, the step aside and all that? Finally, on the you do point out that all the conferences in Limpopo, including the regions, are done and dusted, and they were successful, you say. But I would want to point you to some of the complaints. Some of them are really on social media, made by your branch leaders, one Mr. Thabo Mabucha, who also, by the way, is a member of the provincial legislature, essentially arguing that one of the arguments that they made was that there were 5 branches. There was a dispute, which, according to the letter that you wrote to them as complainants, as the Secretary General, was that the disputes were handed over to the National Disciplinary Committee appeals, even before the conference was concluded. Therefore, an impression is that that was in violation. The fact that the conference continued, it was in violation of some of your rules, which suggest that the conference must not continue while there are pending disputes. If you can just clarify that. But in terms of the task team report of Ms. Noxolo Kivit, what were the findings of that report? Am I getting an impression here that it did find that there were discrepancies? For instance, that the conference there did not meet the 70% threshold, and it continued nonetheless, and you as the NEC noted those discrepancies, and nonetheless you said, we have learned our lessons, let's move on. Is that the impression you are giving us?
Okay. Very detailed 4 questions there. You can just hand it over to her. Thank you. If you can please help us with the mic. Are you covered? Okay, Siamtanda is not covered.
Morning, Mr. Mbalula. My name is Siamtanda Kapa from News 24. I think I'm just going to add to some of Moloto's questions. With regards to Mr. Gigaba, what is actually your expectation going forward? And has he made any indications about stepping aside? Has the conversation started? And with regards to the reports that the president addressed rumors or people that are talking about him stepping down post the G20 summit. Do you believe that it was wise for the president to address those, if he did, to address those rumors or whatever is being said about him in corridors in the NEC, given the timing of this week? And then, very finally, the Daily Maverick reported today about the leader of E-Democratic Alliance and Minister in Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, is apparently having financial troubles. You've spoken about lifestyle audits. Just a reaction there. Do you think it should really move swiftly and start with him? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you very much, Secretary General. My name is Lunga. I'm from the Mail and Guardian. Secretary General, I will add to some of these, some of the questions that my colleagues have asked. From what I'm hearing, and I know you hate faceless people, is that the president, when he was addressing that, was addressing the deputy president and the former president, Mbeki. Do you know of any, to say who might have been the president addressing when he was saying that? Secondly, last week, Panyaza Lesufi survived the motion of no confidence against him in Gauteng, and notably they were supported by the Umkhonto weSizwe. We know now that in KwaZulu-Natal, Umkhonto weSizwe wants to topple government there. Would the ANC consider forming a government with Umkhonto weSizwe and KZN, considering that there have been complaints from the ANC, from ANC members, with saying that the DA is undermining them, and we talk about the issue of Mkanyagute, where they feel that the DA is using its power as, I think, the finance MEC, to kind of remove some of the mayors of the ANC there. And also, when it comes to the issue of, I heard the former president, Halima Motlanthe, saying yesterday that the issue of matric are now going to be something that is very concentrated on when it comes to your candidates for 2026. Does that not then give an impression to say those who might be leaders of society and society who want them, that they are not going to be getting any chance to lead the society that they come from? There's a lot of ANC members that might not necessarily possess those qualifications, but from where they come from as councillors, people would be happy if they lead them. And also, the last one, SG, I know you've been saying now that those in the commission who have been mentioned in the Madlanga Commission should consider or will not be or should not be involved in 2026, the local government elections. Isn't this what the elders of the ANC have been saying, to say anyone who comes across to be putting the movement into disrepute must be removed without stepping aside? Thank you very much.
All right. Any other hands? Or was that the last one? Okay. You've got one more question, all right?
Just one. Mr. Mbalula, it's about the venue for the NGC. I think last week you said it was going to be at Nasrec. What's the thinking behind, what's the reason behind changing the venue? Is it a money issue? Could you please take us into your confidence? Thank you.
All right. That's our list of questions, SG.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions. ENCA, are the ANC NEC members who called for the president to step down. There was nobody who called for the president to step down. At the NEC. What the president was addressing is some of the rumors that have been peddled in the public domain, which I addressed at this platform last week. And I've said that those rumors come from you in the media, because some of us in the ANC go to you and tell you that at the General Council, the president will be removed, and then we'll have a new president in the country. And then I explained to you, and I used Aine Pulaya Ramza, quote unquote, myself. Now, the point I was explaining was that these rumors get to be peddled at random and so on, and they do have their owners in our cycles, and they find expression through the media. The media then becomes the mouthpiece of these people who are hard at work, that this General Council must become something else. It must not become a General Council that is going to ensure that we mop up, look at ourselves, and then come out with necessary vigor and commitment and determination to get the ANC back in terms of majority numbers in the governance of this country. So what the president was saying and related to was the fact that he's not deterred by that. In fact, if there were people who were interested in that, they are wasting time, because if he was to go, he will go anytime. But he will not go because he was elected by members of the ANC, not by rumor mongers. And that's what is important, and by those who are peddling negativity to undermine the cohesion of the African National Congress. So he was addressing that particular point. So your rumor mill has told you that president is ready to go. There's nowhere where the president is going. The president is doing very well. He's leading a collective of which that collective will account to the General Council, and the General Council will deliberate on issues that are before it from the collective. So the president stepping down, that never arose. Nobody talked about such a thing in the NEC, other than rumor mongers, which I did explain that there are people who've got such intentions and trying to get it going in our structures, and thus far that has failed, and it will fail. I can tell you, as the Secretary General of the ANC, we are focused on the task of rebuilding the organization. And that task falls on all of us as a collective, and at the same time to all our branches and structures. We have engaged almost weekly with structures on preparations for this General Council. And the major issues that are arising for the General Council are matters of strategy and tactics. How do we as an ANC overcome this thing of coalitions through consolidating our majority? There's a strategic question. And others have thrown in the notion of counter-revolution in the debate. So what is counter-revolution and how we understand it is going to be debated in the General Council. In our document, we are going to deal with the question of the state of the NDR, National Democratic Revolution, the balance of forces. All of us in the General Council, we're going to discuss that. And we're discussing that now in the branches as well as the regions. Provinces consolidating their perspective towards the National General Council. And in that regard, when we place our report, midterm report, to the General Council, it will not become a report without weaknesses, including weaknesses of leadership. That is what the General Council is entrusted to do. But this one of replacing leadership is not on the agenda. And I did explain to you that if members of the ANC want to replace this leadership, they are constitutionally empowered by the ANC constitution. You need to raise 2/3 of the structures of the organization to raise that particular motion. There's never a reason. It is not there. It is tendencies in the organization that want to digress the entire party to focus on chasing ghosts. Ghosts like Ramaphosa stepping down. That is a ghost. Ramaphosa step down is a ghost. Doesn't exist. Yes, it's a ghost that is there, pursued by others. And they believe in their figmentation of their imagination that such a thing will arise. Because they don't want this Ramaphosa because they were defeated in conferences of the ANC, successive. Ramaphosa is an asset to the African National Congress. And it's not apportioning that to leadership role to him per se, but the leadership role that he has played under difficult circumstances, economic challenges and all of that is commendable. And of course, there will be others who will say, no, we don't agree. We are a big organization. You must have skin and shock absorbers that the ANC has had over the years to overcome such. When leadership is criticized, it's not the problem. That you could have done better there, you could do better here. It is called refreshing the mandate. And that's what we're going to be doing at the General Council. So shock absorbers means that have the courage of your convictions to raise your issues politically in the party and the organization. But tendencies, rumor mongering, that is negative. We know about it in certain quarters. And the people who are for these ideas are not many, they are few. And that is it, and so on. So in the National Executive Committee, there was no such. I mean, I remember one time a member of the NEC, Andile Lungisa, said that the NEC must be disbanded. And it was only him who spoke about that matter in the NEC, and that Mutlante and Mbeki must become interim leaders and so on. It was only him who raised that issue. But it became a big topic. So that tells us as the ANC that the salacious, desire by people to get ANC leadership disintegrating is bigger than we would have imagined. Even smaller things like that will find their way in the front pages as authentic. And now this president matter and what president is rumored to have said has found its way in the front pages of the media and so on. But I can tell you right now that in the ANC, we are focused on rebuilding of structures and making it a point that we mold this party to become formidable and emerge stronger and stronger going forward. So there's no step down of Ramaphosa in the ANC. There's no step down. Will I say that there are no such people who are entertaining such things? They are. People, but they are not many. We know. And they are trying to influence the organization in that direction, and they've failed completely to do so. I can tell you that right now. And, but because you are media, you can continue to entertain them. And if they are brave enough, I will want them to show their face for calling for the president to step. Even if they come from the NEC, I will want to see them. Because in the collective we have never had anyone disowning leadership. We've got challenges, And we are overcoming these challenges every day as a collective going forward. So our movement is being consolidated, nourished every day to ensure that we respond to the challenges that face our country. Lifestyle audits have been done in government, not pronounced. And perhaps presidency in government will explain that point, but they've been done. Before I left government, I was subjected to a lifestyle audit as a minister, and many other ministers did. So the question is, when are the reports coming out? And how government is going to handle that. What we are saying as the ANC is that lifestyle audits must not only focus on people in the middle management and so on. It must happen across leadership in the executive, so that we are able to deal with the question of the lifestyle audits in government. We don't ask police officers, magistrates, and everybody to do lifestyle audits, and then on our part, we are not ready to do lifestyle audits. So we believe that the leadership of the country, the executive, must do lifestyle audits, the same as civil servants must be able to do that. The things that come out of Madlanga Commission are telling us that there are people who are corrupting the state. And these things have been happening for a very, very, very long time. And some of them, we know about them. They are not new. We know that there are corrupt police officers who are in the pockets of criminals. We know that. I, for one, if I have to strike a personal note as a minister before, I will know we grappled with this question for the longest of time. Madlanga is giving us an opportunity now to open up the part and cleanse it in a way that we do at the present moment. And you have a better way to explain it in English, how you cleanse islonda. You know, what is it called? Islonda. Yes. A wound besides. Ikhona isilungu esicaphuke gqithi esi-explaina lo mcimbi kakuhle. So we've got to cleanse this wound and ensure that we restore the believability of the state and the trust deficit that exists between the populace and the police. That a woman can go to a police station and still be confident that is protected and not be chased at the church office when it comes to report matters of GBV. That the state will move from the premise that we believe this woman, even if we don't know where she comes from, whatever that it is, and she must be protected. So our police must be believable, and the rotten potatoes within the police must be out. And they are not many, they are few, and they must be dealt with. So lifestyle audits must be across, and they must happen. Malusi case has been dealt with. We got the report towards this press conference. I didn't have a letter from Malusi, but from the ANC side, if Malusi is charged with corruption, he will have to step aside. He will do that voluntarily, and there will be a statement to that effect. If by now, when I finish this press conference, I get a letter from him and giving me a report about what happened. And then thereafter, we will issue a statement to that effect, just like Tabang Makwetla and so on. It's consistent with the ANC policy of step aside. So there's no big deal about it. Thabo Mabotja has become a big topic to a point where you can think he's a leader of Limpopo about internal matters of the organization. He's big on social media, undermining the cohesion of the ANC. He's one of the people who must be dealt with by this report. He undermines, he insults, he swears at leadership, he undermines everybody as though he's a super member of the ANC. We don't have super members in the ANC. We have mandated the province to rein on him in terms of discipline. We can't have a member of the legislature who has apportioned to himself a responsibility that none of the ANC members in the country don't have. We don't have that super member mentality. So if he's got issues, he's got a branch, he's got a province, he must relate to. The social media policy of the ANC will expect members like Thabo Mabotja to act responsibly and lead from the front. Even if he might be aggrieved or disagreeing with the decisions that are taken by the upper structures against his own expectations, but the discipline of the ANC must stay on. Democratic centralism must be respected. You can't break ranks in the organization. So his matter is deferred to the province to deal with. Comrade Nokolo's findings, that's what we are asking. This was a task team, not a commission. Let me explain. There were no terms of reference here, except a mandate bringing together a team of comrades to go and listen to structures and people who complained about conferences. That does not replace. You must understand, there is a process in the ANC of dealing with conflict resolution. You've got a problem in the province, you go to the PDRC. From the PDRC, you go to the NDRC. From NDRC, you go to NDRCA. NDRCA is the final end of the complaint that you would have raised as a branch. Before, we didn't have these mechanisms. Based on the experience that we go to conferences, we disagree about this and that, in terms of the state of branches and all of that, we then put in our constitution conflict resolution mechanism. Now, that's why we defer Nokolo's recommendations to the conflict resolution mechanism of NDRCA, because part of the findings was that there was no quorum allegation of the conference. It is wrong, because when we went to court, there is no conference that took place without the authorization of the Secretary General. I wrote a letter to the province that this province has reached a quorum after the conference was delayed, and the conference went ahead. And then the NDRC then passed its verdict on the branches and all of that. It's fine. They are verdicts, but the branches don't agree with the verdict. So they must be subjected to a different process based on the merits of what they are actually raising about these 5 or 7 branches that they've raised. That process will unfold without any hindrance. But anyone must not go around and say conferences of Limpopo are going to restart and all of that. It's a wishful thinking that a conference must restart. There's no conference that is going to restart in Limpopo. We are moving ahead. There are challenges that were there in conferences. We're going ahead. Some of the people who are complaining to you as journalists, we are with them in court. I've got letters here of people who have written to me. They want a report of Nokolo. I don't know how Nokolo's report is going to help them. Usis Nokolo. because that report has now been processed by the structures. It was a task team. It's not a commission of inquiry. It's not Madlanga with terms of reference that here is a commission of inquiry, terms of reference, within this period you must report, and that is it. There were complaints that the SG moved for this committee to go and listen to comrades. The NWC agreed. They brought their recommendations. We have processed those recommendations. They have been implemented. In Bembe, it was said they must conclude their conference. They've concluded the conference. It's done. It's done. And then there are people who are going to march here saying that their concerns have not been addressed in Mupani. The committee listened to them. NEC members, 4 of them, went to Mupani, listened to their complaints. I don't know what they are talking about when they say they are not being listened to. Including those who went to court, they were listened to. The numbers is above 200 people who were listened to by this task team, mandated by the organization. And it reported back. And there was nothing there in Mupani, except one branch. But that conference went smooth. We don't have problems in Skukuni. We didn't have problems. Even in Skukuni, they appealed up until the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court dismissed one member who went to court. And then in Waterberg, we had a smooth conference there. And all of that, it is done. Will I say that in a contested conference, are those who are not bruised, who are not aggrieved about the processes? They are those. That's why we listen to them. But organization must run. Can't be held at ransom. That because we went to a conference and we could not win the conference, we had a grievance which we listened to, and we have attended to that. We've got no obligation to address members individually. We address structures. I've met with the Limpopo PC. I've given them a report of this task team. And it's done. The matter is closed. If there's anyone else who want to engage with us, we are engaging with them in court. They've got money to go and take the ANC to court. It's endless, this money that they have to pay lawyers and all of that. So we are responding to them. Even their lawyers, we have responded to them. So they have told us, some of them, that they are going to go to court. But at the end of the day, we are a very patient party. We want integration, we want unity in the organization, and we work with those that want to work with the organization. And those who are incorrigible, and then they will fall by wayside over time. News 24, I've answered the question of Gigaba. Malusi have appeared in court, like we said, but I don't have any letter of step aside from him. Once we got that letter, we'll respond to that publicly, like we did with all other comrades who were arrested in serving in the National Executive Committee. So at the present moment, coming to this press conference, I didn't have that. Rumors are rumors. President there's no step aside of the president. So I've addressed that particular question, that there's no step aside. President was addressing these rumors that have been cooked by faceless people. No, I'm addressing because you said rumors for president to step aside.
The question was it wise?
He's the president of the organization. He leads the ANC. He's empowered to ventilate on any other matter, as long as he's not stepping down. If he was stepping down, it will be a different question altogether. Because if he stepped down, he would have betrayed membership of the ANC. Because he was not elected by people who are negative, who are promoting negative tendencies in the organization. The majority of ANC members understand and appreciate the moment we are in. And they know that the president is not leading alone. He's leading with a collective. So those people who've got energy on negativity and who are mobilizing that the General Council must get the president to step aside, they won't succeed. They won't succeed. The membership of the ANC have said, I must tell you that they won't succeed. And I'm conveying to you and even those who connive with them inside the party at all levels that they won't succeed. Ramaphosa was elected by the membership of the ANC, and his term of office ends in 2027. So he's not going to step down through some faceless rumor mongers and all of that and then step aside. He was addressing that particular point. In the NEC, that matter never arose. Lifestyle audits. Yeah, John Steiner is in lifestyle audits. Yes, John Steiner must explain himself in the lifestyle audits, like everybody. I saw that matter that he owes, I don't know what he's owing. Credit card, man. Imali, kuchiwo. Ayindimo joyo. Kuthi uyitya dlaka. Nizongathi uMbalula uthe uJohn utya imali dlaka. Kuthi uJohn uyitya dlaka imali yakhe. So lifestyle audits, everybody in the government of national unity, they must appear, they must do lifestyle, all ministers. And those who fail lifestyle audits, ambakai, because you must explain yourself. Lifestyle audits, you think it's a one-way process. It's not. You are subjected to a process where you are questioned and then you are given a free right to explain yourself. Unewochi engaka, minister wifumanapi. You explain yourself. Uhamba ngebike and all of that and so on. Abanye abantu bahamba ngeTaxi. How do you afford that? That's lifestyle audit. So lifestyle audits must apply. You can't tell people in your department, you lead as a minister, that this and that must happen, and yet now you have not been checked. So lifestyle audits must happen, even to John. Lunga, who was the president talking about? President was not talking about anybody. I mean, that is honestly your own figmentation, that the president is talking about the deputy president, is talking about Mbeki. You must disabuse yourself about this thing that whenever Mbeki makes his views in the public domain, they are directed at Ramaphosa. When he criticizes leadership, he criticizes our leadership, all of us. And what is the task of leadership? Is to sit down and go around crying that, hey, bias tuka, and all of that. Leadership must respond to criticism constructively and look at itself in the mirror that, is this criticism justifiable? Some of the criticisms that are advanced are not constructive. Which are advanced, by the way, some of them by ANC members who are prominent leaders, who are veterans. Me, not the veteran I know that I was blessed to see in his last days of life was Mandela. And I've seen Mandela in government. I've seen Mandela when he was out of government. He never crossed the line, Mandela. Even when they went to him, Matiba Omde, that he must not step aside. Of course, Mandela was still having energy to go on as president. He said, no, we can't tell the rest of Africa that it is wrong to stay in power forever as a leader. You must give others a chance. Paul Biya from Cameroon at 93, still a president. We were not born when Latata was president. CZSG, Usapete, Cameroon, Nangoku. I mean, comrades and South Africans and Africa. What leadership is that? We can't keep quiet against that. Mandela said, we must lead from the front. One term is enough for me. Mandela had reservations about many things in this country. Many things. But he understood one thing, that my time has come. I've given the baton. I'm done. But equally, it does not mean that a leader, if he's got views and he expresses them in public all the time, it's about Mbeki fighting Ramaphosa. It's incorrect. Thabo Mbeki is a thinker, bantu benkosi. Akalali la tata. Uyabona, akalali emsebenzini. He's a thinker. And you need to look at what he says, not him, what he says, and engage with it. And I know his office is open to us to engage. Even when it doesn't go to the dialogue, we engage. What are the issues? We're going to engage. That's the nature of responsibilities that come with leadership. So, Lunga, there is no issue that the president was directing matters to anyone. We know, as I know, like the president knows, probably who are some of the people peddling the rumors. Okay? That the president must not. I know them. Some of them say these things to you, journalists. They come to you. Hey, president must go, this must happen. These are people who don't love the ANC. They are just about themselves. And even if we were to say, give them the ANC, let them run it without Ramaphosa. Not that Ramaphosa have said he wants to cling in power forever. The reason why he said I can leave is because he said, I will not have any difficulty. I will not ask you Ndenzeni, start composing songs. Wenzeni Ramaphosa. No. He says, if you've got reasons why you think I must go, and you are advancing them in the democratic fold of the organization and all of that, there's no mischief, there is no tendency of anarchy, I will not give you trouble. I will leave. Namdi ngacho. Ngoba akathuka ngupresident. He was elected in that position by the structures of the ANC. There are people who gave us problems here. When it was clear why they must leave, they made us sing songs. Wenzeni uzbanban. Wenzeni. Namhlanje sisazicula lezo ngoma. Wenzeni. President has never given us trouble. As an organization, he leads and all of that. And that's what he was talking to. So there's no need for people to go around. The reason they are mobilizing and coming to you and projecting an ANC that is interested in leadership squabbles and getting rid of its president is because they know their idea is destructive and it will never win in the African National Congress. They know. If you know that what you stand for can win in the party, phume chachalazeni sukubona. Come to kunqandileyo. There's nobody who said you can't do it. You can do it. Puma sukubona. They won't come because first, ideologically, politically, all round, it's a narcissist position. 1, 2. It's a position that will not win the light of day in the ANC today. It will not win the light of day. So when the president says that, no, it's fine if you come to that particular conclusion. But it has never arisen in certain quarters, including the ones you mentioned. Ndiyakuva ufuna umfaka ngebackdoor uMashatile. Sufaka uMashatile kwinto ezingekhoyo. And no Thabo Mbeki. Those things don't exist. It's not true. And disabuse yourself of this thing that whenever actually Mashatile has been the most peaceful deputy president like Titi Mabuza. He has never done anything that seeks to undermine our cohesion, undermine the president, undermine us, because he thinks he must take over. He has never done that. Everything we agreed to, where he is, where he's assigned to do, is doing that job. So don't try to divide us. Those who are trying and going to lead us and make them believe. You know, Omyumama we ANC once said to me, there was a fellow there in exile. Whenever he was drunk, That time leadership was Oliver Tambo and many other people. But this comrade, whenever he was drunk, he will say, abantu bayanifuna. In exile, he say, "Abantu bakufuna njani isikhokhelwa ngu-OR." And it was difficult period, OR leading the ANC. Athi abantu bayangifuna, bayanibona. Every time edlile, it is normal when people are drunk and when they see it in their groups and say, hey, abantu bayangifuna, uCyril Magahambe. When they are drunk, in their drunken stupor, wherever they meet, they entertain such things. ANC members, I can assure you, in their majority, don't entertain. They are worried about the fact that, are we doing more? And we need to do more to serve our people. That is what makes us to have sleepless nights. Not about who becomes a leader. Yes, there are other people when they are drunken, in their drunken stupor, they spend sleepless nights about thinking about leadership. And the question that was posed in this NEC, by the NEC, was that we must understand that there is no 2027 without 2026, and there's no 2026 without 2027 in the ANC. The two are dialectically intertwined. There is no 2026 without 2027, and there is no 2027 without 2026, because by the time you look at 2027 and leadership, the question is, will you be leading a party or your jacket? So first, the question is to win and win back the trust of the people. And then there will be 2026. Because 2020, then there will be 2027. Because 2027 might not arise for us as leadership if we have failed to deliver the ANC beyond 40%. It might not arise. So the two run like this. That's what it was said in this NEC. The last point, will KZN consider qualifications are done in order to produce quality candidates. But it does recognize the fact that ANC is a mass party rooted amongst our people. But you cannot say a councillor of the ANC who is 25 years old is justifiable to become a ward candidate without a qualification like at least matric in the year 2025. What will be the justification for that? You can't. Xa ulanda umuntu omdala ona 80 othandwa ngabantu to be a ward councillor, it's understandable. Lo muntu akanabaphinda buyele emva. You will never go backwards. So you've got to give that person a chance to lead. So the ANC look at all the criteria and the qualifications for all the members and so on, and in order to ensure that we are able to get quality people for candidature of the ANC in local government. KwaZulu-Natal, we're not really having an issue with anyone in KwaZulu-Natal. When we were debating the issue of the GNU, we met with many political parties. I've not met with Zuma Party, which this past week we were in court over the trademark issue of Umkhonto weSizwe, which is a trademark of the ANC. Now, I thought we will have a long meeting with Zuma about returning the trademark of the ANC. Because Umkhonto weSizwe, he knows, belongs to the African National Congress and his people. Leave many other things now. The emblem and everything as a trademark belong to us. So we have never had any request on the part of MK that we want to discuss with you the question of KZN and all of that and so on with the ANC. When we were ready to discuss these things and all of that, and we said that governments must be formed by parties that lead, like it happened here in Gauteng. Panyaza is still leading, and all parties respected that. In KZN, it was a different case altogether. So we don't have any discussion with MK. We are fine with coalition partners. Yes, we do have issues from time to time, which we have settled between coalition partners and engaged and sorted out matters. There is nothing between us and the IFP and all other coalition partners that seek to suggest otherwise. We are working very hard to regain our ground in KwaZulu-Natal, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, no, the last question was the venue. Who asked about the venue? Oh, I thought it's City Press. Siamtanda. We're supposed to go to Nazareth, but Nazareth is busy now, G20, and it doesn't give us sufficient time to prepare. Because Nazareth, in terms of the venue, it needs a lot of work that we need to undertake. So Beachwood is fine. Financially, it's okay for us, even comparing with others outside Nazareth. Beachwood is fine. I cannot now start to tell you comparisons because that will be against the policy the TG have said of looking at prices and so on. So before you misquote us, even with Nazareth, even with Beachwood, we always do financial consideration. But we are not leaving Nazareth because of finances. We're leaving because it's not going to give us adequate time to prepare for the NGC. Of course, it's this week. They must dismantle everything they are doing there. It's going to take them time. And then to give us the venue, will be close to. So Beachwood is ever ready for us. And even for majority of our delegates, they will be able to sleep there, which is very convenient from a logistical point of view and organization. We are fine with Beachwood. Same as Nazareth, but it's really logistical considerations we are making. And it so happened that they can accommodate our numbers. But if we're about 5,000, 4,000, it's not the venue to consider. We'll have to go escorting and Nazareth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, SG. Colleagues, those were very detailed responses to a lot of questions. Are there any follow-ups that have not been covered? The SG was very detailed in answering each of the question. Okay, I'll allow the two of you because I didn't ask before, hoping that it's new questions. Okay, let's start with the City Press, then we'll come. Okay.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Clifford from Jacaranda FM News. Did by any chance the NEC deliberate on the Palestinians who arrived last week and what do you make of that? And then did you get chance today to watch Brown Mokhotsi's testimony and what do you think of that, SG? Thank you.
Good afternoon, SG. It's Norman Masungwini from City Press. My first question is regarding the Integrity Commission report. Have you, as the NEC, managed to discuss issues relating to that, those that are tabled that, and how many have been discussed, how many cases have been discussed? I'll tell you, one of the reason is that I've seen some local media in the Free State discussing issues of the Premier, saying that the ANC has given the Premier 6 days, or the Integrity Commission has given the Premier 6 days to respond to their letter or their questions. So have you discussed that, and what was the resolution on that one? On the issue of regional conferences, one of the
issues that we were told is that the Joburg region was waiting for the ANC to approve their dates for the for their conference. Could that be true? And then if not, what is holding them? Because they seem to be saying that they were ready or they've been ready to continue with the regional conference. And maybe this one is on the just your reaction to the utterance by the Chief of SA Navy, Vice Admiral Monde Lobese, regarding the issue of the defunding of the Navy, which is claimed that he seems to be saying that that has now opened doors for drug cartels to operate in that space. And I'm asking this because General Mkhwanazi made serious claims which now culminated in the Madlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee. Just earlier, I think late last year or early this year, there was similar utterances by the defense when they were stuck in the DRC. My question is, as the ANC, are you not worried that senior officials of the security cluster, when they are raising this concern, might be opening up for serious issues like your coup and the likes, to say, weren't they supposed to be issues that need to be resolved faster and to be attended with the agency it deserves to avoid such things? And what do you think as the ANC needs to be done when those things are raised? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, colleagues. That was our final round. After the SG, we'll ask the SG to respond to these 5 questions, and then after that, we will then conclude our briefing. SG.
Thank you very much, Jacaranda. It's unbelievable you've been here and you didn't ask, and then you ask at the end. Palestinians, look, Palestinian question. We support Palestine. The landing in our country, like any other country, must be preceded by work of security interest of that country, the laws of that country in terms of immigration and all of that, and then what governs us in terms of United Nations when we are faced with such situations, the Geneva Convention. As the ANC, we will not be in a position to answer matters of national security. I've explained that. I'm repeating for the second time. Because I can say, I had a gift of the givers, have said this, and then somebody said, it's a yes-say. We have emphasized that government must respond to this thing. It's not a matter of a party, political matter. It's a question of government, foreign affairs, TERCO, which I've seen Lamula responding as a minister, is most welcome. We expect state security to respond to that, if they have to address issues of security. Because there are all sorts of rumors again that come with this, that these people come from Israel, and then we cannot be made an easy platform by Israel for depopulation of Palestine. Our government, in terms of national interest, must block that thing. We are told that these people were brought here by an NGO. It's not explained. Now, if I was Minister of Police, I would long be at the airport or wherever these people come from, and I will be telling you blow by blow what is happening and what we are going to do to prevent anything that may lead to undermining of national security. So we have said as the ANC that we defer to government to communicate and to deal with this matter. It shouldn't just be easy that people just land in a country and then that is it. There's a whole lot of things that you undergo before, even if you seek asylum that you need to look at. And then the security of that country in terms of intelligence and all of that must be up to scratch to deal with those particular issues and challenges that arise. First, the flight plan, where these people come from and their origin. The Department of Transport, which I led for the very shortest period, deals with the question of the flight plan. And our debate, and that is why transport was part of a security cluster, because those matters belong to defense. You can't deal with the issue of landing rights in a country like ours only as transport without defense force. That goes even for the issues of protecting our waters. The Department of Transport, in terms of our own arrangements, that part also requires close cooperation with the Department of Defense. Because anybody can land here, Minister of Transport, sign off, and then only to find out we are landing bandits here in the country. So those are issues that we believe that have been raised, but we are not qualified to address them. Government must step up and convince everybody that we have addressed these issues. Ministers have met and have dealt with the issue. So it's not a question of asylum seeking only. Let me first and foremost address you a question that you need to understand, is that South Africa waived long time ago visa for Palestinians to come here. So meaning they come here for free, Palestinians, for whatever reason. And the Palestinian Authority knows that in terms of their agreement with our government. That's what I can tell you for free. So if you have a group of people just landing and then they are from Palestine, they seek asylum and all of that, that clarity must come from DERCO, must come from Home Affairs, and then all our security agencies. Then they will act, because they don't act on their own. And then the center must hold, and that's what is important. And if the center doesn't hold, heads must roll. If people were sleeping on duty, then heads must roll. Why are we supposed to allow lawlessness, not safeguarding our borders like that? As the ANC, as a party, we believe that Palestinians, more than any other nation, wherever they could go, they qualify for asylum political status. Even our country must grant them those status. And we have been on the side of fighting for self-determination and recognizing the state of Palestine. And that's why they've got an embassy here in our country. So part of that work included agreements with regard to not waiving, either having visa status and all of that, just like going to Russia, I don't need a visa. And them coming here, they don't need a visa. And other countries and all of that. But that is regulated within the space of a particular ministry that leads in that regard. So all in all, what we are saying, Palestinian matter and those who landed at OR Tambo must be dealt with by government, and government alone must respond to this matter. Simple and finish and clear. That's how it must be handled. That's how it must be dealt with. Should there be security breaches in terms of this, then we expect not too much talk. We must deal with people who are in authority, who have breached security. Because people who are in authority will also say, but we didn't breach anything. We don't know. I'm not a minister. ANC is not a minister of intelligence. We are not ministers of foreign affairs. We are not minister. We have ministers there who must respond. Home Affairs Schreiber, I've never even seen him on TV. He appears on many things, but I've never seen him on this one. On this one, I've never seen him, but claiming victories and all of that, no, the man is number one on that. and he will be followed quickly by a DA poster. But I've not seen him on this one, because they need to respond collectively on this particular matter as government on the issue. That's what we expect. No, we are following the developments of the commission, and just like any other person, and so we don't single out anyone, because it's not our business. As to what arrangement is an individual having with top cops, how do they relate to each other, what status does that individual enjoy there? Look, there is the commission. They must explain themselves there, and they are doing that. So if we're going to stand in front of Brown Mokgotsi and his testimony and comment on it, we'll be doing the opposite of what we said we will not do, running a commentary. And the second thing, if you comment on somebody's evidence, there are many people who have come before the commission and gave evidence. So he's not giving evidence on behalf of the ANC. He's speaking about things he's accused of. And then he must explain himself to the commission. And we support the commission. That is our statement. And any other individual, whether in the ANC or outside, implicated and so on, they will appear before the commission if the commission deems it fit for them to explain themselves. So once we start commenting on what individuals are saying before the commission, we are bringing ourselves into something esarinyageng. Rikinya ditabeng tse re sa di tsebeng. You see, so we don't know that. And you like Brian Mokgotsi because Brian Mokgotsi, I responded to him in relation to his membership to the ANC. And I explained that he's not a member. His membership has lapsed. He was a member, and his membership has lapsed. He's not a member of the ANC. And to an extent that he will want his membership to be revived and all of that, we reserve the right to accept that. So he's not a member of the ANC, and he's not standing there on behalf of the ANC. He can say many things that he would like to say. It's still fine. But in this instance, he is really explaining himself about things that is implicated in relation to the commission. City Press. I'm not aware of any premier who was given 6 days to respond to the Commission of Inquiry, to the Integrity Commission. There is no such. The report that was presented is not complete. The report will be presented, that is complete. The Premier of the Free State went and appeared before the Integrity Commission voluntarily. And that report is not complete. We've got a preliminary report before us. And those matters are being attended to between the Premier, Comrade McQueen, together with the Integrity Commission. And I'm following up on that so that I'm able to bring the report to the NEC so that the matter is closed. But as it stands right now, there was a report, but that report is not conclusive. There are certain things that they must conclude. Once they are concluded, then I've seen these overzealous people who are reporting that the following things and so on. It's exactly the issue that is being addressed, that there are people with vested interest who are dragging themselves into these processes uninvited. And therefore, they've been running a campaign on the Premier of the Free State. Through City Press, Central News, Maswanganyi every weekend, he writes about McQueen and all of that. McQueen has complained about that there are people whom she believes that are feeding the newspapers wrong information. Around a certain Mr. Patrick Put, these characters, there are many, who alleges a lot of things. So Those issues, I can't comment on them because they are before the Integrity Commission. So the Premier is clarifying herself in relation to the things that Mr. Puti has actually said, including about the former husband of the Premier, which is Mr. Lawrence Matai, and the donations that Mr. Puti would have given to the Premier, and the donations to the Women's League and to his husband. The Premier then took it upon herself, because these matters are bringing the ANC in disrepute, so they need to be responded to. So she took the right steps. So they will be settled by the Integrity Commission. Remember, the Integrity Commission is not a disciplinary committee. They make up their mind on the basis that the issues that are in the public domain about you affect the integrity of the ANC, and they are there to defend the integrity of the ANC. So failure to convince them that you have dealt with the issues of integrity and so on, they will do the findings and make recommendations. So that report is not there. The Premier has gone and explained herself in relation to all the issues that you guys reported about her in public, and she's dealing with that. Joburg, we are dealing with the issues of Joburg and all other matters. You are correct that no regional conference must take place up until all disputes are settled. That's what has delayed conferences. We had to take that resolution as the NEC after Peter Mukaba. After Peter Mukaba, and then the NEC took a decision that SG, do not allow conferences to sit up until you are certain that the disputes are done. Some people manufacture disputes to delay conferences. But from where I'm seated and in the office and working with Hope and our comrades in Johannesburg, that conference should sit this week or next week. We are done with disputes. And I'm putting pressure on the NDRCA to get that going. Because within the time frames of dispute lodging, I think we should be ready to go to conference and other conferences in other regions. You know, South Africa is faced with a difficult situation of outbursts by people in security positions. This general was not speaking with the army or in the army, he was speaking in a party or something, I don't know. He was invited. I saw him with a very nice suit. But, yeah, it was a gala dinner. It's unheard of in the world that generals just address gala dinners and talk big things. No, man. It should be worrisome. This country has got a president whom we call President General, not President General. He's the what? The Commander-in-Chief. We've got what we call National Security Council in this country. You have generals outbursts. This is stuff that must be done, Maswanganye, by me and you when we are in a party. Hey, Mchana, we are not led here. I mean, we are not securocrats. Those comments we can make in a party as civilians up until we are guided by securocrats. Okay? And then two, we've got a parliament, a legislature. The issue of funding of our army and our security, apparatuses like the army and the police, it's a sore point. Really, it is. When President Mbeki went for the arms deal, I don't know now, how are we going to answer the question, where are the Roy Falks and the things we got through the arms deal, the jets and everything? So if I'm in the army, I'm going to tell everybody here that those things that we procured, we can't use them because we don't have personnel trained enough to pilot fighter jets, submarines. What am I doing? Is that not gross violation of state secrets and security? I can imagine an admiral of an army in a small country, I won't mention by name, going to TV and say we are naked. Those things are supposed to be said by Nongeba and other people who are civilians, who don't know anything. And then generals will quickly come in and say, no, you are making a mistake. Are these people fermenting tendencies of coup d'etats? They start like this. When generals become politicians overnight. One day we're going to be waken up in our rooms naked and arrested by these people who are addressing us in parties and all of that with state secrets. This is worrisome. It's a problem. South Africa, is it under any threat? It's not. We are a democratic state and we have survived because of who we are. But if our army generals just do as they wish and with due respect, and I'm saying this with all due respect, that you can't have generals of the army speaking like that. They should raise those issues that, hey, we need more money. I know they raise these issues in closed doors, but should they now go public and address gala dinners full of civilians? It's a big topic that issue General, the Chief of the Navy has raised. It raises a lot of things. But we must step in now in terms of discipline. This is not how countries are run and protected. This is not how countries are run and protected by senior people in the army. Lastly, there was one chap, when I followed up, he was dismissed a long time ago in the army. The one, whenever he's drunk, he goes and they take him a video and he says, in terms of constitution, law, this and that, I declare Ramaphosa to step down. As the president, I'm taking over and all of that. Hey, it made people to sweat that video. That clown, only to find that he's dismissed from the defense force. He was dismissed. But he addresses people every weekend, whenever he gets an opportunity. And he presents himself as somebody who has capabilities to conduct a coup d'etat. Now, the army generals, Navy, you wake up, they are all over social media telling us the things that they are telling us, which I believe they are not wrong, but they need to be addressed in a particular setting. And there is what is called national security. There should be boundaries. There are things that you don't say. Even as a cabinet minister, there are things today that I cannot say. Even if I can be called in front of whoever, I can't say. I need to get permission. State secrets. If I have to say them, I've got to ask for permission, and they must be declassified. And when a general of the army, respected man or a woman, just ascend to a podium of a gala dinner, not, I don't know, maybe it's an army dinner, just get there and address soldiers with politics. How are you going to expect those people to listen to you tomorrow or the other day when you go and moan? Because politics is about moaning, is about the right to reply. When I tell you as an army that I've got problems, I don't have money to do 1, 2, 3, so you can't fall into line whenever I command you. When I reply back in terms of the army conduct, I will be subject to charges of mutiny and all of that. How are you going to deal with that when generals are just doing things like this? How are you going to deal with the army if that army turns out to be political? Then we are in trouble. This thing called Defense Force is not a guerrilla army. It's a national defense force of the Republic of South Africa. It must be respected. And if generals are not respecting it, we are going to tell them, no, you are basically running our country down. This is not how countries are run and generals behave. As the ANC, we never issued a statement when our general of the army was attacked for the things he said in Iran, because he's a general. We respect our general. And then when Americans were running around here, says, no, the general is mad, and all of that, and so on. Hey, South African, but he's our general. He was invited by other generals there. He said things there that others may not like. You see, because he represents an army, meeting with others there, and all of that. So, when our generals just expose their outbursts from time to time, where are principals who run these generals?
All right, colleagues, thank you so much, SG, for a very comprehensive response to the second set of questions. Thank you so much, colleagues, members of the media, for having indulged us. That brings us to the end of our post-NEC media briefing. The statement is in final edit and will be shared with yourselves shortly. Thank you so much.